Myself. Okay, so now I'm multiplying fractions, so I don't need common denominators, but I do need factors. So remember, I mean, you've done some of these, so I don't know how much you need to go back. And if I have 16 over 15 times 3 over 8, remember one thing, you could multiply. Back in elementary school, my kids were learning this. The teachers taught them this way, right? They said 48 over, let's see, what's 8 times 15? 4 times 15 is 60. Is that 120? And then they would simplify that fraction. And to me, that's crazy. I mean, I know I can divide them by 2. I can divide them by 4 probably, but those are big numbers to deal with. So the easy way to do that is, okay, hey, I know that, well, I could write it this way, 16 times 3 over 15 times 8. Well, 8 goes into 16 how many times? Twice. 3 goes into 15 how many times? 5 times. So that leaves 2 over 5. Well, instead of having to write that, 3 goes into 15 5 times, and there's a 1 there, right? And 8 goes into 16 twice. So I'm going to get 2 over 5 without having to do all that writing. Okay, so this is the approach I want you to use when you tackle these algebraically. Okay, it's just so much easier. I mean, keep it easy. But first off, before we try to do any canceling, we need factors. Remember how I was multiplying those numbers? We need to have products up here and factors. So I know that y squared minus 16 factors to y plus 4, y minus 4. It's the difference of 2 squares, right? So I'm going to go ahead and write that down here. So y plus 4 times y minus 4, difference 2 squares. And then I see I can factor out a GCF of y on the bottom. So y times y minus 4. You okay with that? Because I'm dividing that by y, dividing that by y. That y on top is just there, and I'm glad it's just there because I'm going to do some canceling. And then we get a trinomial factor. Let's see. What gives me y squared, y and y? What gives me 20 that'll add to give me 9? Well, I hope you know that it's 4 and 5. And then now let's start hashing out crossways. I know that y and that y will cancel. I know top and bottom cancels, right? Those cancel out. And then that y plus 4 cancels. And all with what's left on top? 1. That's 1, that's 1, that's 1. 1 times 1 times 1 is 1. And in the bottom, what's left? This is all 1. So y plus 5. And notice that's an answer. Oh, since it's just multiple choice. Now, why do they have, see, it's green, so it's right. Why do they have this stuff here? The y can't be equal to -5. It can't be equal to -4, 4 is 0. Let's go back. Let's go back here. I guess I'll just rewrite it. So I have y squared minus 16. This is back to the original. I am going to write the denominator as factored form, okay? Times y over y plus 4 times y plus 5. Now, I know algebraically we removed the y plus 4s in the bottom, the y minus 4 in the bottom, and the y. But back in the original problem, they were there. So all we're doing is temporarily removing them to come up with a simplified answer. Where you'll see this. You'll see this in our chapter 3, and probably by November we'll be working on this. You can't divide by 0, right? So if I go back in the original, if I substitute in 0, so let's look at the easy one. They're saying that y can't be 0. If I substitute 0 into this expression, doesn't that give me -16? Because 0 minus 16. And in the bottom, I get 0 times -4. Well, that's 0. Uh-oh, I can't divide by 0. So that would be 0 over 20, right? So because this is division by 0, y can't be 0 originally. Even though we canceled it out here, we can't ignore it when we start. I mean, we want to look at this is the simplified form, but when we start looking at the graphs of things, some weird things start happening and when x equals 0, y equals 0. The same thing with -5, right? Because we substitute -5 here, that'll make that part 0, even though this will have a number. And if we substitute in -4, this will be 0, so that thing will be all 0. And that'll be a number, but still, because I'm dividing by 0 over here, no can do. Okay, so that's why they put these domain limitations. Don't worry about those right now. I'm more worried about you being able to do the foiling, the factoring, and doing some simplification. Okay.